Good day, everyone. My name is Zulfikar Muhammad Aslam. I work in the capacity of a senior lecturer of innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship with the College of Business and Economics at the United Arab Emirates University. And I'm very happy that the Common Ground Research Network has provided me with the opportunity to share my research with the global community of scientists and researchers through this platform. The title of my research is Aero Haptics Applied Healthcare Systems. And I just want to brief you people what Aero Haptics actually means. Aero means in the air, and haptic means science concerned with the sense of touch. So in this particular research project, we are basically creating characters, impersonated characters of people with stress, anxiety, and depression would like to talk to, and they would like to take all the things out from their heart. And these people might be suffering from emotional and physical separation from their loved ones. We are all familiar with the stress, anxiety, and depression, and we know that they are common and natural to the grieving process. Usually, after a loss of a loved one, emotional distancing from family member or a close friend due to disagreement, adults as well as children may experience a complicated grief or anxiety disorder. Grieving people find themselves panicking or worrying excessively about what or whom else they could lose in the future, leading to various mental disorders. Therefore, the purpose of this research project is to develop and apply a unique therapeutic method utilizing 3D virtual holographic projections with the mechanism of sensing emotions, feelings, and moods responding to patients who experience intense grief symptoms. Furthermore, offering them comfort and support using responsible AI operated haptic holograms through a real time, safe, and responsible environment in the supervision of medical and technological experts. Some of the literature which I had reviewed and it really helped me in my research is Social Cognitive Theory by Albert Bandura, who was known as a scientist, of course, and a psychologist in treating people with phobias and things like that. Then we have Beyond and Environ, who discuss relationship between physical activity level and depression on elderly people living alone. Neuro-linguistic programming on anxiety by Rifki, Andrea, and Angela. As a matter of fact, in our own research, we have applied the concepts of neuro-linguistic programming. Then we have Barlow and Choate and Behave towards a unified treatment for emotional disorders. And then finally, using machine learning based analysis for behavioral differentiation between anxiety and depression by Richter and Fishban. Major issues: depressive disorder, which is depression. The cause of depression includes complex interactions between social, psychological, and biological factors. According to World Health Organization, an estimated of 3.8% of the global population experiences depression, including 5% of adults, 4% among men, and 6% among women, and 5.7% of the adults older than 60 years. Approximately 280 million people in the world have depression. Depression is about 50% more common among women than among men. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, anxiety and depression has increased by a massive 25% according to the World Health Organization. 21 million US adults are living with depression. Anxiety disorder is a feeling of fear, dread, restlessness, sweating, and rapid heartbeat. And according to the American Psychiatric Organization, nearly 30% of the adults at some point in their lives will be affected with the various forms of anxiety, such as generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, specific phobia, social anxiety disorder, separation anxiety disorder, and selective mutism, which is inability to speak. And then, of course, 42.5 million adults are affected with anxiety disorder in the United States. Stress, on the other hand, is a feeling of emotional and physical tension. Emotional distancing from a family member or a close friend or a death of loved one can cause stress. These are life's most stressful events and can cause a major emotional crisis. So, grief reactions lead to complex and psychological symptoms. The person who experiences a loss may have range of feelings including shock, numbness, sadness, denial, anger, guilt, helplessness, and depression and anxiety. So basically, stress causes depression and anxiety in people at a very high level. Research objective is to develop a unique therapeutic system and a method called Aero haptics applied healthcare system with virtual holograms in the air which can communicate with the patients in real time suffering from stress, anxiety, and depression caused by emotional and physical separation from their loved ones. Integration of responsible artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other smart sensors and technologies is an important part of this project. Currently, this therapy is limited to senior citizens, but the scope of the project can and will be extended to other age groups in the future based on the success of the system. Two important approaches have been applied as part of the qualitative and quantitative research. Design thinking approach, which is a solution-based approach to problem solving and critical issues. The intention was to integrate intuitive, empathetic connections into the process of observing, exploring, coming up with new ideas, and then taking that next step into design solution. And then we used use case approach to outline interactions between users or actors and the system to achieve a specific outcome. So due to enormous challenges involved in ensuring accuracy and precision of Aero haptics applied system for people with mental health issues, collection of historical data in the form of images, videos, voice data, signature moves, dialect, scent or a perfume, and languages which are in process. And of course, users, or we call them actors, have been divided into four categories for data collection, keeping various ethical constraints in mind. I just want to emphasize on something before I go ahead. Why I said that there are enormous challenges, because if your loved ones are not there anymore, they have passed away, and they have passed away long time back, maybe I don't know, 50 years ago, 6 years ago, then we are having some issues in collecting data in terms of their dialect, in terms of their communication, verbal or non-verbal communication, in terms of some videos and voice inputs and things like that, but we are trying our best. So we have divided all this into actors, this approach into actors, and we have actor number one, which is mental health expert, psychiatrist or psychologist. Actor number two is information technology expert, could be individual or a company. And then of course we have actor number three, which is patient, and actor number four is patient's family, patient's relatives and close friends. The common data collection instruments used were remote and physical interviews, questionnaires, and observations. As I said before, actor one, who is a medical expert, overall 22 mental health experts have been approached globally and briefed on the effectiveness and efficiency of the proposed scientific project. 17 have shown extreme interest to implement this system in their medical facilities. The remaining 5 have requested to test the prototype before making any decisions for deployment. Actor 2, IT experts, design concept has been discussed, and data has been collected from 2 world top IT solution providers in holographic and smart technologies regarding the deployment and integration of the smart technological tools. Security is very important, and privacy is also very important. So these are the related to the proposed Aero haptics applied systems. Actor number 3, patients themselves. 20 plus patients, I think till yesterday, it might have been around 25 patients. So they have been contacted and briefed about the therapy, and all of them have shown interest in the therapy. But just to let you know, patients with mental disorders, sometimes actually it is very difficult to interact with them and then brief them about what type of therapy is going to be applied. Therefore, actor number 4, which has really helped us a lot in data collection and so on, and that is patients, relatives, family members, and close friends. And we have contacted more than 50 of them, and they were briefed, and they have been briefed. All have been very much excited to get this therapy applied to their relatives, friends with mental health issues and disorders. Some of the developmental tools, for example, development of 3D virtual character impersonation using hologram projectors. Although there are hologram LCDs also available, and then holographic frames are also available, but we are using holographic projectors because we are giving patients an effect of feeling, an effect of touch also. So therefore, holographic projectors are better than the holographic screens and so on. Artificial intelligence powered deep learning and speech articulation is being used with the help of natural language processing. As I think I mentioned before, that one of the major issues is the ratio between the mental health expert and the patient itself. Like, we found out one mental health expert is available for almost 100 patients globally, especially in UAE. So therefore, what we are trying to do is, because with the help of this hologram, we have integrated language processing. So this hologram actually can communicate with the patient in any language he actually understands and he wants to communicate with. Movement of the 3D holograms can be done through gesture given as an input through a special type of a sensor. This is known as in-depth motion sensor technology, so that the hologram performs desired movements of its body parts. So basically, a patient himself in the environment has this in-depth motion sensor or sensors in front of him. So whatever the gesture he comes up with, the hologram communicates with him in terms of gestures also, and it translates the patient's gestures into other forms. Like, for example, if a patient, for example, looks at a character, impersonated character, which is his father, for example, and who is not in this world, like who has passed away. So if he looks at this character and says, "Hey dad, I really miss you and I really love you," then based on this in-depth motion, the hologram itself will interpret this as, "Hey son, I love you too and I miss you a lot." And in order to achieve this, we are using artificial intelligence based algorithms using Leap JavaScript and Node JavaScript programming modules, also referred to as neuro-linguistic programming languages. And of course, this is useful in changing patients' thoughts and behaviors to help achieve desired outcomes, reduce anxiety, depression, and improving overall well-being. Artificial touch sensations, such as touching the hand or even hugging a hologram in the mid-air with a feeling of warmth, is there, using special types of sensors known as piezoelectric sensors, which produce ultrasound waves for sensation, vibration, and touch and force. So basically, the patient can actually feel the hologram and feel the sensation of the hologram and feel the warmth of the hologram if he wants to, which can help in reducing his anxiety, depression, and stress. A cloud-based platform for storing and retrieving historical information is there, which is integrated with all these devices and all these sensors. And then, of course, integration and synchronization of all the components of the environment through a network is very much required for a quick response. Now, the prototype for the aerohaptic environment is constructed in such a way where we have various actors, of course, like mental health professional or an expert. We have an IT expert, we have patient, and then, of course, we have patient's family members and relatives also. So patient basically is directly interacting with the holographic projection. Yeah. Mental health professional is directly monitoring the patient, and he's also monitoring various types of symptoms through medical sensors. He's also collecting data from the data cloud. IT expert is responsible for the whole environment, as a matter of fact. And then we have patients' family and relatives who are actually helping in providing various types of data in terms of images, videos, special moves or gestures of the loved ones, and other things. So the proposed aerohaptic environment uses holographic technology with the sense of touch, feeling, scent, physical response, facial expressions, verbal and non-verbal communication, and multiple languages functionalities. The real-time movements of the hologram are based on predefined gestures as an input mechanism using in-depth motion sensors, data cloud platform, and medical sensors for monitoring patients' brain activities, heart activities, temperature, and vital signs. Some of the very important ethical considerations and challenges in this particular scientific project: transparency of the complete therapy and the patient and his or her family. Of course, everything has to be transparent. Training of medical experts to conduct the treatment in a calm and relaxed environment considering the patient's mental situation. Safety standards based on mental history of the patient. Social side effects like unrealistic expectations and reality distortions can also cause negative symptoms or signs in the patient's behavior or emotions. Therefore, a discontinuation or suspension of the therapy can be recommended or considered by the medical expert. Approval or consent from the patient's family is very important for this therapy. Ethical and other approvals from the health and regulatory authorities, which we are following up here in UAE, in United Arab Emirates. Cost of implementation, execution, and maintenance of the complete aerohaptics environment. Also call it an ecosystem, because as I mentioned before, the ratio between the mental health professionals and the patient is more like 1 to 100, and lots of patients are there, but there are very less mental health experts. So therefore, in future, we can also create an ecosystem where the mental health professional can sit in a main office, in his main office, and then he can control multiple patients in multiple clinics and multiple hospitals from there, and he can observe them and he can monitor them and he can analyze them simultaneously, gaining instant solutions based on the expert advice provided by the artificial intelligence integrated system regarding the levels of stress, anxiety, and depression of the patients through facial expressions. Real-time voice and other emotions are also very important, because AI is being used to give us instant solutions, and then these solutions can also be used in the same therapy or in the next session or therapy to come. And then applying deep learning algorithms and complex programming techniques, which is again a challenge. Then step-by-step data collection about verbal and non-verbal communication. So As mentioned before, this is one of the biggest tasks, especially in the case of people who have passed away and who have passed away maybe long time back, maybe 50, 60 years ago, collecting their way of verbal and non-verbal communication style, their gesture, signature moves, uh, their dialect, their images, their videos. We are working on that because this is the toughest part for us. In the conclusion, I would like to say, like, as a lead researcher of this scientific project, I believe that designing, developing, and deploying Aero haptics applied healthcare system with good intention is a promising area of research. It will improve patients' mental and emotional well-being. The use of this unique system in the healthcare sector can help people cope with their stress, anxiety, and depression caused by the loss of their loved ones. I would like to dedicate this research to my mother and all the people in the world who suffer from mental health disorders due to emotional and physical separation from their loved ones. Uh, my mother, who's 85 years old, she lost her husband, my father, almost like 10 years ago. And sometimes she sits down with me and she says to me, "Is it possible if your dad can just come back for like 5 minutes?" And I just want to talk to him and I just want to share everything I have in my heart. And this is where I get very emotional myself. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to work on a project like this, which can actually help the society and the mankind. I feel that there's still much work to be done in this area by the global community of researchers to address and improve the mental health, mental well-being of the sufferers across the globe. And through this platform, of course, I would also like to invite scientists, medical practitioners, and so on to help me develop the platform in future, because we at the United Arab Emirates University are doing our best to come up with a prototype as soon as possible. But of course, we will be requiring lots of help from other experts and specialists. Uh, That's it from my side. If you have any questions and anything you would like to discuss, anything you would like to ask me for regarding AeroHaptics applied healthcare system or environment, I will be very happy to answer you all your questions. And thank you so much. Take good care of yourself and goodbye.